Greetings.
Всім привіт! Ми продовжуємо наше проходження KINGDOM COME DELIVERANCE, частина 2. І так, сьогодні ми нарешті відправимося по нашому сюжетному завданні до Коваля Радована. Та також заодно виконаємо побочне завдання. З Жалеєва ми взяли його. Треба вкрасти таховське травневе дерево. Побачимо, що ми з цього отримаємо. Також я трошки назбирав грошей, щоб нас було. Поза кадром побігав. Тому що на всяк випадок я не знаю, що там ми будемо виковувати. Як я розумію, щоб виковувати нам потрібен матеріали. У нас тут трохи є. Мідь. Гарне меча, залізо, екзотична деревина, сталь, франкфуртська сталь. Я не знаю, чи це, напевно, це все для крафту, зброя, коли ми будемо виковувати її. Також я думаю, що якщо у нас щось не вистачає, не тільки ми можемо знайти десь в тайних місцях, а також можемо придбати того ж і коваль. Але для цього, звісно, потрібні нам гроші. Так, а неплохо так в мене... Я зміг знову залутати це знову в цьому місці. Табір злодія. Я не знаю, я у прошлому епізоді також перед епізодом за кадром побігав, вбив його, все злутав, все продав. І на цей раз відправився до Бажани, щоб переночувати. І також випадково на нього опять надійшов, бачу, він живий. Думаю, добре, чому ні? Вбив його і ще раз забрав лут. Добре, тоді відправляємось. Так. Буде краще, напевно, сюди відправитися і тут уже. Так, ми у нас ситість. Можна щось трошки з'їсти. Мед, напевно. Да. Миємось. Не чисто все. Тоді. А також, якщо ви замітили, в інвентарі ще багато що є, що на продаж. Особливо нашої коняці. Бо я тут не продавав, не знаю. Дуже мені подобаються ціни і нема певних... зброю треба продавати там, де продають зброю. Це логічно, і там буде краща ціна. Також я знайшов шкіряний фартух. Думаю, він нам знадобиться для роботи в ковальні. Або навіщо він тут взагалі є в цій грі. Так, добре, відправляємось. Так, ми прибули до Тахова. Так, ага. Це, по ідеї, той, хто нам потрібен.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge.
Так, що може змінити тоді одяг? Раз на то пішло діло. Так, шкіряний фартух, да? Я розумію. Забили, що я з приміщення не можу перекидати. Да, в першій частині можна було, коли ти заліз поцюпити якогось там броника чи когось, набрав шмот, оттуда же біля ящику перекинувся на коня і далі береш і йдеш. Це вже убрали, щоб ми не могли виносити відразу, як тоді по 700 кілограм луту. Так, що я хотів? Я хотів, тоді нам це не потрібно. Також. Діваємо фарту. По ідеї, отак. Ну, зброя, напевно, також нам зняти. Більш-менш схожі на коваля. Вот. Кріпільний матеріал, металобрухт. Так, забираємо це все.
Stop faffing about and get to work.
Угу. Так, тесак треба, да? Ми можемо і це скувати. Треба непоганий меч, мідь, екзотична деревина. Ну, так, все є. Ну, добре, спочатку нам треба просто зробити тесак.
Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up.
Розігріти.
Poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above you. Give it a pull. It works better. Temperature by the color, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out.
Да, але воно нерівномірно.
That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got time to add. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil.
Так.
Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it.
Так, тут у нас примсити. Угу.
Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. Could you hurry it up a bit?
Так.
What is it? You're not tired, are you? Could you hurry it up a bit?
Угу.
That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway.
Він же холодний.
It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. Thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. If you want to hear more, give me a roasting or two. Hear that? Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. That's the ring you want. You see how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. That's enough. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking.
Тесак. От наша перша зброя.
Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
Значить, зрозуміло.
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
How do I know a good strike from a bad one?
By the sparks that fly up, and by the ring. It rings out with a different sound when you do it right.
What's the right way to heat up the workpiece?
Do it till it turns the color of straw. Ideally, the color should be the same everywhere, if your forging's going to be even. The main thing is, don't work it cold. You just ruin it. But don't overheat it either. As soon as sparks start to fly off it in the furnace, take it out.
Why should I forge evenly?
If you keep hammering the same spot, you'll never finish it. You'll just fuck it up. But jumping from one end to the other ain't a good idea neither. You'd end up working unevenly. The best thing to do is aim each strike next to the one before.
How will I know it's finished?
Notice the shape. The closer you are to finishing, the more precise the shape it will have.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. and there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me, but if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. They can't afford it neither.
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them, though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house, there are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work.
Так, глянемо. Дрова, да? Тут дрова. Тут чи що це? Да. Зробимо збереження, може. Вже пізно. Ну, добре. Може бути, що це вже піде додому, як робочий день закінчено. Так, він нам дав креслення. Креслення з морської підкови. Єсть. Металобрутики. Окей, далі і креслення робочого сокира. Ви вже знаєте цей рецепт. Добре. Так, ой. Щодо коня. Нашого коня є наші матеріали. Перекинув до нас, поки може нам знадобиться. Спробую також виковати відразу меч. Файний. Що, попробуємо цей меч? Ага, туалетська сталь. О, а де він дівся? А ну-ка. Торгівля.
Show me your wares.
Купити матеріали.
Why are you wasting my time?
Немає.
You don't want
Добре.
it?
Тоді це все до коня. Тоді будемо сокиру, да, і підкови. Це довгі сокири. Угу, а я можу також і сокиру виковати. Я не хочу... Добре, робочу сокиру нам треба зробити. Так, її рухати, напевно, не треба, бо вона і так нагріється. Начебто достатньо. Угу, тут цікаво. Треба розігріти ще. Мечом якось полегше буде. Тут не дуже зручно передвігати наш молот. Так, іншу.
I have to move it. I have to move it. I should heat it up again. This will take a bit longer. I won't get too far without fire.
Тут начебто вже він зовнішній вид є.
Finally.
Угу. Там ще є підкова. Думаю, що підкову ще більш незручно буде. Так, сокира є. Далі. Інший.
Did you get it sorted out?
Hopefully. But it cost me all the money my pa left me. I even had to sell the rings from my mother-in-law. But I'm telling you, if he runs up any more debts, I don't know what I'll do. This was the 3rd time.
Go and see the priest and ask him to talk to him.
Oh, please. The priest gambles with them.
What?
You bet he does. His housekeeper told me he's got a brooch at home I lost a month ago. How did it end up there?
You silly doggy.
Oh, this is useless. It's cold.
How's it going? My wife and I are pickling cabbage. Loads of it. Yeah.
Ну, треба звикнути просто до цієї механіки гри. Бо ти мишкою направляєш і підкову, і молот одночасно.
You still wouldn't be impressed, would you? Wait, really? Aye, aye. Take my advice and go and pickle some cabbage then.
This is almost done.
Яко?
Good. That looks finished.
Нарешті. Так, єсть. Вже вечір. Думаю, що треба піти лягти. Виспатись. Вже зранку до нього піти. Та знати, що далі на нас чекає. Так. Треба зробити перекусончик.
Good boy.
Ви всі не спите, чи що? Так, це... У нас ще трошки треба зачекати. Ну-ка. Оскільки він починає свій робочий день. А, тут як тут. Подяка.
What do you have for sale?
Ну, в мене на продаж. Так, тесак нам якби не потрібен. Робоча сокира також. Все інше нам потрібно.
Word about the price.
All right. I'm listening.
Ну, тут
Only because it's you.
Less. This is pointless. I'm done haggling with you.
Ні?
I hope you'll be satisfied, my friend.
Так.
It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venza and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semin, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semin and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semin that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semin.
Those two hands of yours, Venza and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Semin wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Semin's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right, I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them. Can I ask you about that cart?
What is it you need to know?
All right, I'm on my way.
Time's wasting. Run along.
What a nice maypole. It'd be a shame if something...
What?
Nothing. Nothing. Really, very nice.
I'll say, the best in the country. Do you know why?
No?
Because it's the only one. We toppled the one in Zhelyov. They never saw it coming. Nobody gets the better of us. I don't think they're going to try anything. After that beating, anyway. Even if they do, Henrik will raise the alarm and we'll kick their asses again.
Так. Фартух нам більше не потрібен. Треба вже більш-менш... Можна на... Угу. Так. Дуже багато. Спробувати це все попродавати. Зброю. Так, а де ще раз підкови? Так то краще. Ну, зачекай.
What would you like?
I'll have a look at the wares.
Це можна продасти. Так, значить, тут таке.
Thank you, and a good day to you, friend.
Так, що тут ще? Екіпіруємо наш меч. Ну, начебто... Шкіряні рукавиці собі придати, ну. Добре, допустиш так. Ще тут у нас щось є. Побочний квест. Раз ми тут. В хаті.
That's a beautiful maypole you have there. You don't see that every day. I reckon all the other villagers must envy you.
They sure do. Them Geliovites try to steal it, but our fellas kick their asses. Why are you so interested in it anyway?
I know from experience how hard it is to guard a maypole like that. I used to stand guard myself.
Well, there you go. Then I'm sure you know what it's like to be envied by everyone around. And if someone had bad intentions, Henrik would show them how we do things here in Tachov. That's the one thing he's good for.
I wanted to ask about Henrik.
What about him?
Did he do something to you? Sounds like you're not exactly fond of him.
Aye, I'm not. He's been getting on my nerves ever since he got together with our Manka. I'm afraid he'll mess with her head and run off with her, just like his bloody brothers did.
Where did they go?
What do I know? One day they just packed up and wandered off. Their village wasn't good enough for them, I reckon. I wouldn't mind if someone went and beat the thought of Manka out of his head. Maybe someone not from around here.
Why not? I could manage that.
He's not much of a fighter, but I reckon if you call him a vagrant or something, it'll surely rile him up. And I'll remember you did me a little favor.
Listen, Prochek. Those Geliovites are plotting something against you.
What? Bloody hell.
Old Olbram offered me some groschen to steal your maypole.
Damn it! That bitter old fool just won't give up. As if it wasn't enough that we fairly and honourably took theirs, and then fairly and honourably kicked their asses when they tried to take ours. It's a tradition. That's just how it goes. But for him to send some bloody outsider like that...
Hey, this bloody outsider just did you a favour and told you everything, though he didn't have to.
Aye, he did. I can clearly see he's an honest bloke, and we value honesty around here.
Thanks. I see the people from Takov are honest too.
That we are. Speaking of which, I reckon it would be fair to repay Olbram in kind. Let me know if you're interested. I came up with a nice little pastime that's sure to make Olbram shit himself.
So what should I do to the Geliovites?
Listen up then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Zhelyov, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is, the finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective too. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Olbram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right then. Olbram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Olbram's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Zhelyov lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Olbram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial, but the Zhelyevites took it from us.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper ass kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Olbram came along, claiming it was the other way around. And that pasture belonged to Zhelyov.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Zhelyevites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Olbram always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Zhelyevites are at wit's end, they come at us, and nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
Have you tried asking Lord von Burgos for help?
Of course, but he'd have none of it. He said it's up to the Trotskovitz bailiff to sort it out. But the bailiff couldn't care less. He said we should deal with Olbram ourselves, or he'll have us caned and clapped in the pillory.
Then how did they take it from you?
Say there's a knife, but then...
Well, that's a tough nut to crack.
Так, добре. Ми трохи змінили сторону. Спочатку ми були з Зhelyovими, зараз з Таховими все ж таки заодно. Так, треба спитати нашого шефа про зілля.
I need something that will put animals to sleep. Project said you might know something.
Did you get tired of blacksmithing and take up farming instead? I just happen to know of something. I used a concoction that will put even a startled mare to sleep in no time. I once accidentally drank some and slept for 3 days. But the recipe is an old blacksmith's secret. The kind you don't just give away. You're in the trade, so I can tell you. Listen up then. You take some poppy and thistle
Смак, будяк.
and boil them in oil. Then, after it cools off, you add a little herb Paris.
Зайшов.
That doesn't sound too complicated. Thank you.
Так. Угу. Тросковець, значить мені треба, да. Ну, добре, тоді зараз виконаємо цей побочний квест. Я думаю, в цьому епізоді, а вже в наступному ми відправимося по сюжетному квесті. Щоб так більш-менш якось розбавлено це все проходити. А щодо... Може... Яке взуття? Міщанське взуття. Був розпис. Ну, добре. Трохи поторгуємо.
Greetings to you.
Так, спочатку
I'll have a
торгівля.
look at the wares.
Фартух ні. Шкіряні рукавиці, взуття.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure. Why not?
No. Only because it's you.
That sounds really interesting. Lower your price a little more, and I'll be satisfied. You'll convince me with that price. I hope you'll be satisfied. Take...
Пана птачка. А ну-ка.
Excuse me. I'm looking for someone. A friend of mine. The one who ended up in the pillory with me.
Loads of people have been in the pillory, and you know what it's like. I'm really busy right now.
You haven't seen him then? Tall, fair-haired, fancies himself and talks like a noble.
Sorry, but I'm swamped with work because of the Semine wedding. Everyone wants new clothes from me. Even Bashka the butcher ordered a jacket fit for a king, and he isn't even going to the wedding. So, no, I haven't seen your friend and I can't help you. Sorry.
Окей.
I've heard you dye your own fabric.
I used to. I tried a few times, but I had to give it up. Troskovitz is on a hill, and there's not enough water for that. Why'd you ask?
I'd like to buy some pigment.
I see. Well, perhaps I could find some leftover black. If you have enough groschen, it's yours.
Спробуємо.
Ah, damn. That's more money than I thought. Look, I don't need much. Just a bit will do.
Is that so? What do you want it for, anyway?
Nothing important, really.
All right, whatever. But I'd hate to find out you painted on someone's house. You know what? If I scraped off some of that dry pigment from the edges of the bucket and mixed it with some lard, that could work. Those pigments are a magical thing, eh?
What do you mean?
For example, if you need blue, you can use blueberries or woad leaves. You put them in hot water with the fabric and it'll turn blue. Walnuts good too. With the husks of unripe walnuts, you can get a very nice light brown, sometimes even yellow. The best way to make red is from madder root. And when you add alum or beeswing to the water, the colour gets a beautifully rich shade. Or you could just use plain old black elder. The berries, of course, but they're more for lighter shades. Oh, and privet's not too bad either. If you use its bark and alum, you get yellow. You can even use the leaves. They make a nice green, but it takes forever. But you know what's my favourite way of making yellow? Using dyer's broom or weld. You take a few nice stems, some leaves, a bit of alum, and you get yellow, as bright as a chick's feathers. And for so much cheaper than using saffron or iris, that's the main thing. Buckthorn makes a nice green, maybe the best of all. You use its fruit. They say it can also heal, but I've never tried that. The most important part is the stain anyway. Like alum, for example. It can create all sorts of shades and give depth and richness to the colour. But even that won't help you if you don't know what to use for what colour. Sometimes you want the fruit, sometimes the bark, sometimes the root, or maybe the leaves. Too bad I don't dye fabric much anymore. But I see you're really into it. You know what? Take some of it for free.
My word. Thank you so much.
Oh, not worth mentioning. Just be careful not to stain yourself. Quality material like this doesn't wash off easily.
Нарешті. Так. Трошки перевантажені, да. Так, тепер нам залишилося тільки зілля. Мак, ще щось. Треба глянути в рецепті, що нам потрібно. Тут начебто майже всі є рослини, які нам потрібні. Так. Так, зараз полина, збережівка. Так, це надо. Олія, жменя маку, подяка і вороняче око. Подяк, мак, вороняче око. Що в нас є? Будяк, мак, вороняче око. Ну.
It happens. Just watch where you're going next time.
Кульбаби. Це що у нас? Живокість.
Greetings.
Будяк. По два, да? Так, бачу мак. Щоб вороняче око десь знайти. Так, а тут начебто на другому поверсі.
God be with you.
Що у нас тут?
Herzlich willkommen.
Торгівля.
I'll have a look at the wares.
Що ти пропонуєш? Матеріали. Вороняче око. Це куплю. По ідеї.
Word about the price.
Warum nicht?
Да.
Do you accept?
Well, if you offer a little bit more, we can make a deal. Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Das war ein gutes Geschäft. Auf
Так,
Wiedersehen.
окей. Так, а що у нас до алхімії? Навички. Це поки. Добре. І так, ще раз. 2,5, да? Не то. Жівка. Це нам потрібно. Мак, кипятити 1 оберт, будяк і кипятити 1 оберт. Вороняче око і додати. Подрібити. Коротше, 1 мак, 1 будяк, вороняче око дрібимо. Окей. Олія, да? Олія. Так. Один будяк. Так, чекаємо оберт. Я не знаю, як у другій частині, в першій частині можна було не чекати. Саме головне була послідовність. І вороняче око нам треба подивитися. Значить, все. Беремо пляшечку.
I should have boiled that herb Paris on a smaller fire.
Ще одна. Олія. Мак. Виноберт. Будяк. Виноберт. Вороняче око. Тут начебто просто можна не кипятити. Пляшку беремо і зливаємо. Слабке.
Should I have boiled that herb Paris on a smaller fire?
Тобто, кипятити 1 оберт. Не кипятити, ну окей. Спробуємо так. Олія. Мак. Будяк.
boiled that poppy for too long.
Так, зілля ми здобули, фарбу ми здобули. Тоді нам треба відправлятися в Жейлов.
Dougie. Good boy.
Так.
Only a blind man can't see it. Sigismund is 1,000 times...
Треба вляти зілля. Але щоб мене ще й не замітили. Чекати поки до ночі. Угу. Коли бик не п'ється, то засне мікрофон. Добре. До ночі, так, до ночі.
Good boy.
Що не так? Окей. Треба якось нам зайти сюди, щоб нас не бачили, а? Щоб нас не чули. Тихо. Угу, там є охорона. А якщо камінчик?
I heard. I must be mad. Did I imagine it?
Ну, роблю збереження на всякий випадок.
Huh? I heard something. To hell with it.
All right. What am I gonna do with you? Aye. This'll be good.
Так, значить мене ніхто не помітив. Да, треба відправитись в Таху, окей. Так, ідемо, ляжемо, поспимо і зранку вже підемо з домоквесту. Так. Треба, напевно, більш-менш будуть діти. Так, їжа.
It's done. Oldbram's bull isn't as white as it used to be.
I knew you wouldn't let me down, mate. Oldbram must be having a fit. I can almost see it.
To hell with the fucking pricks. The lousy city-tap.
All right then. You did what I asked, so we're even. And since you already got caught up in our little dispute, maybe you can help me with something else.
So, what can I help the Takovites with this time?
We're planning to meet with the Geliovites in the pasture that they keep arguing with us about. We'll sort it all out with them there. Nicely. Man to man. Wouldn't you like to join us?
Why not? After painting that bull, it would actually be quite a pleasant change to talk things over face to face.
Aye. Talk. We'll get into a huge argument and then start punching each other in the gob. So then, should I send for Oldbram so we can get going?
Wouldn't you rather call an end to this endless feud with the Geliovites? That way, you'd each have half of the pasture, and everyone's happy, no?
Chance would be a fine thing. Oldbram will never give up. He says the whole pasture is his.
The borders by the orchard, that's where I got my ass kicked.
Who knows what the old fool got his ass kicked for back then.
You should talk to the bailiff and get him to support you.
Thrush! He already said ages ago he doesn't want to get involved. He even threatened us with the stocks if we keep bothering him.
Well, as you wish. You know what? I'll go have a talk with Thrush. Would you wait for me for a bit?
All right, but don't get your hopes up. And don't you go ganging up with them Gelioff bastards against us.
Так, ну що, спробуємо їх тоді примирити. Так, нам надо тросковиці, окей. Доріг таржа, так понял.
Scribbling nonsense.
They're called letters, and that's exactly what I'm paid to do.
Ah, well, carry on then. I came because of the arguments between Takov and Zhelyov.
What happened this time? Did Oldbram piss in Project's ale barrels again like last year?
No, but they're getting ready to meet up and beat each other up.
Let them do it then! Maybe a few knocks to the skull will do them good, and they'll leave me alone.
How did the arguments between the Takovites and Zhelyovites start, anyway?
What do I know? I was a young lad back then, but it's all because of that bloody pasture. Both villages claim that it belongs to them, but nobody has any evidence. So they split it in half, but neither side is particularly happy about it.
Shouldn't you find out who the damn pasture belongs to then, bailiff?
Why should I? Let them eat each other for all I care. In the worst case, I'll put them all in the stocks. That should sort them out.
Lord von Berghoff would surely be glad you're taking care of his domain.
You think so? After all, who else but a wise and kind bailiff like me could get those idiots to make up? How the fuck am I supposed to find out who the pasture belongs to? I looked in the chronicle, things like that tend to be there. But Bailiff Brada, who was here before me, must have been a lunatic. You'd have to be mad to make any sense of that book.
Then let me have a look. I may not be mad, but maybe I'll find something you overlooked. You won't have to worry about anything.
You want to touch such a rare book with those filthy peasant hands? Have you lost your mind?
Filthy peasant hands? Do you know how many books I've read? And I never fold corners. If there's anything actually useful in the Chronicle, I'll find it.
Fine, have it your way. Maybe you'll manage to make some sense of Brada's bullshit. But if I find out you've even opened that book too harshly, you'll have me to answer to.
Книга. Це літопис. Все? Так.
This Latin phrase looks important. Otherwise it wouldn't be written in red, would it? Fecit ordinem in region ope claviferae. I should try to find somebody who could translate it for me.
Пантачик знав латинь. Зачекай, писар.
Nope. What do you need, my friend?
I need to translate something from Latin. You're an educated man, aren't you? Would you help me?
Why not? It's nice to see simple folk wanting to get educated. What is it you need translated?
Nešto se.
Fecit ordinem in regione ope claviferae.
That's definitely Latin, but what could it mean? In regione is obvious. That's in the country or region. Fecit ordinem is something like to bring order. And clave ferre means iron spike or maybe nail. So, brought order to the region with the help of an iron nail. Where did you hear that nonsense?
That's not important. The main thing is I know what it means, and hopefully it'll help me in my work. Thank you.
Ого. Так. Треба десь тут шукати цвях дереві, ну. Тут не пасуть худобу. Щось не дуже багато дерев. Це воно?
Ah, here's the damn nail. Right in the middle of the pasture.
Просто посередині.
Olbram and Project won't be happy.
Окей. Так, зараз нам треба в обратно трусковиці. Там зачекай.
I finally found the damn border between the Takhov and Zhelyov parts of the pasture.
How the hell did you manage that?
I found it in that chronicle of yours. It wasn't easy, but we can finally put an end to all that endless fighting.
Oh, about fucking time. So then, are you sure you found the right place?
Definitely. Bailiff Brada took iron nails and used them to mark the border so that people wouldn't forget where it is. One of them is in the oak tree on the pasture.
That's nice of him and all, but he could have fucking told somebody about it. Who can make sense of those writings of his? At least Olbram and Project will leave us alone now. Go to them, and when you all meet in the pasture, I'll ride over and settle this nonsense once and for all. And if those two start arguing again, I'll be hammering nails into their arses instead of trees.
Окей. Так, тепер їдемо до Тахова і йдемо до місця зустрічі.
I have to warn you about the greatest evil and danger on God's earth. Men's cruelty and wickedness. You may say that God...
I sorted everything out. Let's go and meet the Zhelyevites and have a discussion.
Finally! Come on, let's call the lads over and send for Olbram. Well, Zhelyevites, did you miss us?
Of course they did. I reckon they hardly slept a wink.
Can you blame them? I'd rather come and get a beating than hang around in Zhelyov too.
You see? They're provoking us again. There's no use trying to negotiate with them.
There's nothing to negotiate, old man. The pasture is ours, and that's final.
Bullshit! You know right well that I got smacked around as a child in that orchard, right over there.
You know what? Now you'll get smacked around here too.
Enough! Does anybody here have anything better to do?
Trust? What are you doing here?
This shouldn't concern you, bailiff. We'll just beat those bastards' asses and go home.
Don't you think there's been enough fighting and nonsense?
I won't tolerate this nonsense in my territory.
Tell that to the Zhelyevites. Maybe they'll finally get it into their thick heads that this pasture is ours.
In your dreams, you Tachovite swine!
Kurva! Be quiet already!
You're both wrong. The pasture is split in half. From here to that oak over there is Zhelyov property, and from the oak on it belongs to Takhov.
We're supposed to share with them? Ha!
How do you know? You're not even from around here.
But unlike you, yokels, he can read. It's all there, black on white, in the Troskovitz Chronicle. So you'll obey it and finally give it a rest.
They've done so much to hurt us. They should have to make it up to us. Make them pay.
None of that. They're the ones always provoking us. You know what? Let's give them a nice final bashing.
Knock it off already. Haven't you had enough of all this senseless arguing over the years? All those worthless problems and wasted time? Can't you just shake hands and make up?
That's right. From this point forward, this dispute is over. And if I hear about anyone causing trouble again, I'll have you all clapped in the pillory. Together. Now pack up and go home.
Well, Grandpa, are you satisfied?
Now, I hope the Takovites and Jellyovites won't be at each other's throats for a while.
I can hardly believe it. I'm sure Lord von Berghoff will be delighted with how I handled it.
How you handled it?
Aye? With a little help from you. True enough. It's nice that someone deals with problems instead of making more for a change.
Ah, don't mention it.
Leave it off. We've got our good name back. Since you did so well with the Chronicle, I have another book of knowledge for you. I didn't get much out of it myself, but maybe you'll find something revealing in it. That's a damn fine reward, don't you think?
My word. Thank you.
Так, нарешті ми їх помирили. Та зараз можемо відправитися до нашої теперішньої домівки, щоб зберегти наш прогрес. Так. Можемо також прочитати книгу, що нам дав Рихтарш. Нам би ще другу частину доснити. Ну добре. Що любі друзі, я думаю, ми будемо закінчувати на цьому наш епізод. Вже в наступному епізоді ми будемо виконувати квест прогулянка з задоволенням. Знайдемо наших колег, робітників, які пропали з возом. Ну і продивимося далі по нашому сюжету. Ну що ж, дуже велике дякую за перегляд, твій лайк та коментар. Зустрінемося в наступному епізоді. Чао! Хай щастить!